saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings, humanity! Greetings and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM, and I use he, him pronouns. And this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice of life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone who is here present, and find out who they are, who they're playing. Starting once more with Djinnaya. Hello.
Hello. My name is Djinnaya, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Shah Gamelon, an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries. Shah also uses she, her pronouns. I'm so excited to be back.
Yay! I'm so pleased. There's so much for you to see. There's so much for you to see right now.
Djinnaya, can't wait. Shah is in horror already.
Yes. Oh, it's going to get so much worse. But before that, let's head over to Wilde. Hello.
Yes, hello. I am Wilde Engineer. At Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. I use he, they pronouns. I am playing Shantanu. Oh no, I just closed the window. Oh, here it is. An itinerant empath of the Order of Apostate who splinters into fragments. They use they, them pronouns.
Excellent. And now let's head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello, I'm Arras, or Animus Panthera. My pronouns are she, they, and today I am playing Eroshka Ruzik, aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything. And her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. And now let us head over to Anino. Hello.
Hi, how's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns, but my character, Mac the Husk, uses they, them pronouns. Mac is a established enthusiastic of the Order of the Goetica who provides a vessel for spirits. I had my character sheet up that time.
Yes! Excellent, awesome. There's been a long run. There's been a long run, so you have to forgive us for having inside jokes. Also, my apologies if anyone can hear knocking, because there's like something. This has been happening in my apartment for the last. I'm not going to get into it, but there's been somebody doing some kind of work late at night, possibly in the apartment below me for some time. I don't know what it is.
It's that time of month, so it's that kind of year.
It's who knows when people just suddenly will suddenly decide at 8:30 at night to just break out the hammer and start doing some carpentry. I'm not sure. Either that or it's some form of wildlife. I'm not sure what we have around here. We have pigeons and we have the occasional crow. That's all I'm aware of. And the pigeons are more friendly than I would like, and the crows are less friendly than I would like. That's all I can say about it. But before we dive into this tonight, once again, as a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we are going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. At any time, you can type !ISCW to display that. Did the bot do it? Yes, the bot did it. I recently upgraded the bot. There were some things happening. Some of you may be aware there were some things happening with Twitch, and a lot of us had to change things out. And I spent I spent some time staying up into the wee hours trying to get everything to reconnect with my bot. So that was there was a lot happening there. So I'll make sure that once again is in the rotation, and we'll get back to it. Actually, and now it's asking for a thing. Okay, I'll get back to that later. All right. Anyway, things, bits and pieces. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. Okay. Stuff happened last time. A considerable amount of stuff, it seems. But basically, as I recall, everyone was just sort of after sort of trying to help the red thistle not burn anymore. The red thistle, the place where they were brunching, had caught fire, and the fire brigade came over, and the building is not doing great at this point. It is probably so they're going to have to rebuild the thing. So this after it was attacked by Balak, who basically is instead of entering the town decided to hit his fellow Vizsla where it really hurt. So just basically took aim and shot them directly in the brunch. So they talked to the mayor and also to a good person Bristol, who gave them some information about the Susurrus Queen, whom they believe after further research is actually probably the same being as someone known as a creature known as the Rattler, or the Rattlesnake Queen, or some folks will just call her the Rattlesnake, and that is that they suspect that if Balak, indeed Balak, and and also of course the Insidious were working for the Susurrus Queen, that they probably might be able to be found somewhere in her vicinity. She, they believe, from what lore they've been able to pick up, are probably going to be somewhere around there. Is a nameless gulch to the south of the town of Yestervale. It's actually about a day's journey south, roughly ish, possibly less. We're not sure. Time is weird. And it's there's a nameless old mining town that's down there as well that has been long abandoned. That's nearby. So they took that information on board, but decided instead of just plunging directly ahead to enact immediate vengeance, They decided to go back to the to the manor house containing the endless party to drop off these insidious with the nightside mushrooms that were there, offering assistance for the use of their site as an anchor of sorts, as it were. A fulcrum, actually. Not so much an anchor as a fulcrum. I keep having to remember, those are two different things, no matter what happens in my head. So that is the thing that they were on their way to do. They entered the house, and as they were out in the sort of the area leading that area of space that leads between the party, that exists between the party and the entrance to the party, that's usually keyed into a different place where parties are happening. Is the way the co-location works. They found themselves by a lake where there was some celebratory activity taking place, and there were a number of cabins near the lake, and the entrance to the party itself was the front door of this cabin. As they were heading towards this cabin, the angel that they had left here to try to find, along with Isabel, to try to find the control center, essentially, for this place, the observatory. That angel came up and informed them that they think they'd found it. And so they decided, okay, well, let's go there first. So they went into this crawl space underneath the cabin, and up to where Isabel was trying to open this little door in the main cinder block support for the cabin that had these strange symbols on it. Astronomical symbols, actually, as it turns out. Eroshka spoke to the door. The door wasn't sure what to do because Eroshka had last instructed the door not to open for her. But then at the same time, there was a lot of, the door knew that there was like there was like some kind of fracas going on behind it, and it was from the other side, and it wasn't sure. But Eroshka convinced the door basically, no, you can go ahead and tell me how to get you open. All right. And so, because the door will do whatever Eroshka says, ultimately. So, Eroshka got the door open to touch a series of symbols. They went through. There was a duct they had to crawl through. Because this is a secondary entrance that Isabel did not remember. Isabel was starting to get a little bit suspicious. It's like, wait a minute, I don't remember this ever being here. But they went through. Crawled through this duct. It was very dark. Their light sources went out, and they heard this very loud breathing sound seemed to be echoing around them, coming from somewhere. We're not sure where. The source was not apparent. Eroshka talked to the duct to try to figure out what that was, and the duct basically, I think, said that whatever it was, is bound, but it can see them, and it knows they're there. And after a little bit of urging, they continued ahead to this metal grate which they had, that separates the duct from the observatory. Eroshka peeked out and had a flashback about working in the observatory with Gilda Morgan. Apparently setting some things up. Finally, it's maybe when the observatory was still new. They were arguing about something. Eroshka couldn't hear what her past self was saying, because she could see her past self in there. She saw Gilda doing something weird under the control panel. She was asking, but Gilda was asking, "You're sure about this?" Something along those lines, like, "Oh yeah." You're saying, no, this is perfectly fine. I can totally handle this. And basically had this flashback where Aroshka sort of goes and looks into the eyepiece. But Aroshka saw two versions of that. One is where Gilda rushes up and looks in the eyepiece. The second the second version, which repeated, is not repeated, the second version that popped up immediately after was Aroshka anticipating Gilda doing that, shoving her away and looking through the eyepiece herself. Then the flashback ended and they went into the observatory and started looking around the controls. Mac and Vor played a little, pretended to play Battleship at a couple of the monitors, which after they moved away from the monitors, apparently a game of Battleship started of some kind. But Anino was looking through things, and Aroshka talked finally to the big telescope, which was like, okay, so the immediate threat is done. The Seeker's not here anymore. You told me not to, I'm supposed to be guarding things here, and I'm not supposed to tell you things, but I don't know what to do at this point, because it could go either way. There's still danger, but it's not immediate danger. Do you want me to crack open the vessel? The mnemonic vessel. And Aroshka asks what that is. And the telescope informed her that the mnemonic vessel is the place where Aroshka stored her extraneous memories. And then displayed it, because it was sitting right there next to the telescope. Vor and Mac volunteered to look at the memories real quick to try to just make sure they're safe, because there was a bit of an argument as to whether or not Aroshka should try to retrieve her memories or not.
I would say that we took it upon ourselves to be the new keepers of Aroshka's old memories.
There was some talk of burning it to DVD. So Mac and Vor and Mac, Vor used her abilities and brought Mac along to look at the memories. And they saw again, they found that some of the memories are sort of fractured or broken, some of them are strange, some of them have multiple versions, which is a little weird. And so they looked through, and they found not only they saw that memory that Aroshka had just witnessed with Gilda, and then they found the memory of exactly when it was that Aroshka finalized the process, which it's a little bit of a process, but the process of looking over the edge, because they were trying to figure out the point where there was a personality shift. Or perhaps a start toward one. It's a gradual thing, you see. And so there was a bit of strife, and we sort of determined that Aroshka was trying to protect Isabel at the time that it happened. Isabel was concerned that Aroshka shouldn't do this. Aroshka was apparently saying something to the effect that it's okay, we have him bound, whoever that is. But I'm not going to let them get you. I'm not going to let it happen again. And Aroshka then in that memory looked into the big telescope and looked across the edge of Paradox. So that's
took 2 years, but we finally got the title of the game into the game.
That was the title was first mentioned when they came across the story of the hunter. That's where it first turns up. They were looking at a star field, that had a specific horizon on it. Mac recognized some of the stars as actually from this area near this sort of celestial stair half-world that he had visited. And so, similarly, Vor and Mac got a brief glimpse beyond the edge, which it's hard to describe because I can't with this human brain and vocabulary describe something that is by definition unfathomable. But we can kind of talk about its effects and sort of see a rough idea of what we're talking about, and we'll be doing more of that as this progresses a little bit. They saw just a glimpse of it just before the memory ended. They didn't see the whole thing. Meanwhile, Shantanu had gone over and was using one of the scopes to try to find that void demon that they'd been looking for some time, as you know, because they have to get a piece of that demon and get it to get it back to the spider that they have been talking to try to fulfill their bargain. The demon's name is Segeldrach. The spider is Igthamad of the Eight Paths. A true spider. Cousin to another true spider whose name got dropped a few episodes ago, Rajathamos. Or Rajathamos, depending on which side of the room you're standing.
If I recall, someone owes a favor to Igthamad.
Someone does.
I think multiple favors, actually.
And
I wonder who it could be.
I don't know. But that having happened, Shantanu actually managed to figure out where this demon is using the scope. Shantanu realized, upon doing so, that the reason why they were able to do it, in part, is because this observatory has been pointed at that exact spot before. It's a preset. And Shantanu looked at this strange... You can't really make out a lot of the shape of the void demon, but what Shantanu could make out was this chained figure hovering in the void, raising its head, and its glowing eyes looking directly at them. And that is where we ended things. So there are a couple of effects, a couple of things that are going to happen kind of immediately. And as we are essentially transitioning into a new scene, with revelations kind of coming up, and we are processing information, I'm going to go ahead and draw a card now. I don't know if it's going to come into play immediately or not, at least on my side. But we're at the start, so we're going to go. So here we are. This is a... Wait a minute. Is this the same one? That's the same one. I see, this is a thing that we had recently. Yeah, the Void Demon looked back and can see them, knows where they are. Let's see. What do we have? Okay, so this is actually a thing that I mentioned, because unfortunately the way that this grid is set up, I cannot restore it. There's no way to save where I was on the path. I have to start it up. I have to restart it every time. So we may get some repeat cards, like we're getting now. I think this is being played probably on the red. Is this on the red side? I have to go back and look at the Path of Suns to identify which one we're on right now. That's not a big deal, because I don't think it's not the one that we're seeing here. But let me go ahead and grab this real quick. quick here. If I can get to the right place. There it is. Okay. So, yes, this is land. Oh, it's landing on the pale sun. Okay, okay. That's right. We have pale, red, and gold to go. So this is on the pale sun. This is not a pale card, but nevertheless, what we have here. Assuming I can actually click on it and have it do anything. Where did it go? Come on. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Let me go ahead and pull this up. This is card number 39. Welcome once again to the Enveloping Darkness. So we had this card very recently. This is an Invisible Sun card. So we have... So we're under invisibility. The Invisible Sun at this point is currently dominant. Just as a quick reminder about the Enveloping Darkness, which we had very recently. We had it back when they were in the duct. Let me go ahead and actually do the research there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Do that search again so I can actually pull it up. Basically, the highlights of this, once again, it's darkness is the default. It moves into anywhere the light abandons. According to many, the dark will be the totality again once the suns are gone. The darkness is the end. It takes things, it takes us, it grabs, constricts, and overwhelms everything not warded by the light. And it pretends an ending. Something draws quickly to a close. Endings aren't always bad. So this can bring relief as an affliction or a problem comes to an end. But it can also mean restriction or denial. The tendrils of the enveloping darkness can hold us fast and keep us from doing what we want, an end to freedom, so to speak. This card does not suggest death for the person in question, but it can suggest the death of someone involved in the matter at hand, perhaps. We don't know. So, I need to explain. Vor is essentially sees this and immediately vanishes into the gray. Mac, you're gonna have a weird thing happen. After you have looked at this and you just get a little glimpse of the idea of sort of an impossibility. And after pulling away from it, there is this odd thing where that happens just for a moment, where in the room around you, it's like people are standing in different places from the place where they were, but then they're also standing in the places where they were. They're like copies of yourselves that seem to be unaware of each other, but they're kind of doing different things. They're still looking around the room, but it's like this weird echo you're seeing of stuff that hasn't happened. It is this odd thing, and then it's like you see some of them, they're like, and it's weird because they also split off and are it's like those versions of yourselves then split into multiple selves that go off and are doing different things around the room, and some of them are doing it forwards and some of them are doing it in reverse. Some of them are walking backwards yourselves. You see yourselves walking backwards back toward the duct that they used to enter the room, and in reverse climbing back up. It's this thing, and it happens for just a moment. And then it kind of, as you're kind of are trying to sort of figure out what's happening and kind of regain your senses, it stops. Everyone for a moment who is able to see this. And actually, I think that also... Oh, hey.
Oh,
Oh, no!
we lost one.
Oh. We had... Okay, yeah, Djinnaya can... Djinnaya has been blue screened. So, never mind what I was about to say with that. Let us instead, let me go ahead and do a quick adjustment here for us so that we might once again see where we are and what we are doing. There we go. Oh, close enough. So there is... So basically we have that. We have that going on. And anyone who is able to see this, who right now I think Shantano's busy and Vor has vanished, and so Eroshka is probably going to be the only one who's in a position to see this. Mac seems to blink out for just a moment in the same way that they do at midnight. It doesn't last like the whole 5 seconds. I think it's like 5 seconds, something like that at midnight, if I remember right. So it's just for a split second that it happens. But then, you know, it's weird for a second because it's like it's like Mac is standing in a number of different poses at once for just a split second as they phase back in. But then they're back. Arashka, this is probably going to ring a bell for you when you see this effect. What this means to you, you can, of course, completely determine, but it has something to do with, you think, being able to multitask. I think that was kind of important to you at that time for trying to make something happen. And you know that it has to do with the fact that he has just seen, looked into that memory of yours, some memory of yours.
What?
Shantano, of course, has a demon staring at them, but there's no effect from that aside from just, you know...
Demon's far away, right? We can't,
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
the demon that's staring. So do we have any way of knowing that the demon is staring at them?
No, only Shantano right now
Only
knows that the
Shantano
demon is
knows
staring
this.
at them.
Okay. Well, then Eroshka doesn't react to that information on account of she doesn't know it.
What would you like to do?
You'll see. Sorry, was Max still staring was looking through a telescope, right?
Mac was no. Vor was just using magic to look at the to look at the memories. So just
Okay.
essentially Vor just cast a spell and
Okay,
looked at the
so
memories,
Mac
and
was
you were
just
in the loop
listening.
on the spell. And Vor has now vanished instantaneously into the gray. So the spell is the link is broken.
Oh, that was really something. Right, Vor? Oh,
I think there's even an echo of Vor saying,
Vor's gone.
of Vor slowly saying, "Yes, it was." Just that only Mac can hear it. But you then realize that Vor's not there.
oh crap. Who am I going to gossip about this with now?
And if you'll give us 1 second, I think that we're about to get Djinnaya back. I just want to make sure that we're good there. And then I will swiftly switch cameras. Once we have that. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to go ahead and, let me go ahead and put us on the break card real quick. We will be right back whilst camera surgery happens. Hold on just a sec. We have returned. And as we see, Djinnaya is with us again. Let us actually go ahead and as we're starting things back up anyway, let's go ahead and get Shaw in here. So
could she fade in like right where Vor was standing?
Yes, that'd be great. No, that'd be perfect. I think that would be probably.
Wow, that was intense, Vor. He just starts patting Shaw on the shoulder instead of Vor.
You hear like the sound of metal and filing, and you look over and it's Shaw. Like, I guess probably you feel the metal first of her clothes, and then you look over and she's just like intensely filing this like piece of filigree in her hand.
You'd think I would get used to this by now. Sorry about that. He's gonna take out a little handkerchief and buff out the fingerprints that he left on the metal.
Oh, polite.
Thank you. Oh.
Shaw, I think this is the first time you've ever been here, specifically in the observatory.
So when I just see the same room that we usually see, the gigantic telescope.
There's there's a big telescope. There's a bunch of different types of equipment. There's like mad scientist type stuff, lab type stuff, Jacob's ladder, and what have you. And one of which is this bell jar. And actually, I will tell you that as you are looking around and you see some of these devices that are here, you kind of recognize some of them.
I was afraid of that.
Some of these are looking a little familiar. You'd have to examine them a little more closely to be certain. But there are several things in here, including elements you think of the control panel, the main control panel, that there's something very familiar about a lot of these.
I tuck away this piece of filigree that I've been working on, and I quickly grab like a magnifying glass out of my tool bracer, and I start just walking around and looking at all the different things that look like my work. And then...
You did not build any of these things, but they look a lot like things that, if you recall correctly, and this was pre-war, so it may be a little hazy, but if you recall correctly, a number of these were projects that you were working on, that remind you of projects that you were working on with Gilda Morgan. You can kind of recall there was something where you didn't want some designs to get used for something.
Probably this.
And you kind of pulled, and so you were completely, so you kind of pulled out of it. And that was probably the last time you saw these designs. But yeah, these are all familiar to, well, not everything in here, but a lot of,
right.
A good portion of these. And a lot of the ones that you're even not familiar with also look like Gilda's work.
Oh. Is this Gilda's then? This room?
No. Nope. It's mine.
Shaw looks around, mutters something. Appropriative bitch.
Was that directed at
No. It's directed at Gilda, but Shaw and people skills are. These were. Arushka, what did you make this room for?
That's a really good question. Because you see, I sealed all of my memories in that thing.
It's this big sort of, looks almost like a bug light. It's this big glass barrel-shaped container with light arcing back and forth inside it. That's next to the big telescope in the middle. Where Shantano's currently hanging out.
Of course. I seem to recall I put a lot of these designs on paper and then tried to make sure that they never got off the paper. But apparently Gilda decided they should come off the paper. What else did I miss?
Many many things. I don't actually know. For and Mac went and looked at some of the memories, but I wasn't there, so.
Yeah. There was a lot of drama, a lot of conflict. I'm having a tough time processing it all, probably because I was doing the equivalent of cribbing off of Vor's notes and spell, and yeah, so it was sort of like seeing something third hand, fourth hand. I don't think it was very good, though. I can see why this would be tucked away and not want to be remembered. Most people sort of just drink these types of memories away, but you chose a very precise way of cutting it out.
Really effective.
Yeah, I'm impressed and yet terrified. But that was kind of you before the change, so I par for the course probably.
That's the impression I get. Well, so yeah, there's some kind of whatever going on in my memories. That's pretty much all we've achieved here in this room thus far. We were looking for parts or something, weren't we? I sort of think we shouldn't stay here for too long.
No, we better download this stuff and get a move on, I guess.
The memories parts we need.
Yeah. I think at this point the telescope will once again, who only Roshka hears at this point, will just sort of ask, are there any you would like me to extract for you? Any threads from the vessel you would like me to extract?
I literally don't know what any of them are.
You want threads on the operation of the observatory, perhaps?
Oh, that'd probably be good on how it works. Yeah. Mac, do you want anything else? I'm gonna tell Mac what the telescope said.
Oh, we should probably get it all, and then.
Oh, okay. Do we have
I'm
something
assuming
to
that we
store
might lose access to this place again, and I do not have something to store them in.
Other than my brain, because we're not putting it there. I'll ask the
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'll ask the telescope if there's a way to take them, because obviously it took this giant machine to store them previously.
Well, yes, that was my understanding. Is that the vessel was the smallest containment device we could with any at all realistically use to contain the threads.
You might have to pick, Mac. I don't think you can take all of them with you.
We can. I can. As I stated, that it is the mind is a very complicated instrument, and so it is. Unless you want to take the vessel with you, that is.
Pretty big, right? How big is it?
It's about the a little bit taller than a person, and as wide as like Say like 2 or 3 people depending. But it's sort of it's like a big barrel about the height of a person.
Well,
Oh.
Mac, unless you want to store it in your brain, I think you have to just pick some. I don't think you could take it all. Unless you have a way to carry this thing around.
Actually, Mac is going to start drawing a summoning circle.
Oh my god!
This
Because-
is how I solve all my problems.
Yeah, because something here worked out so well last time.
I just simply look at Mac and say, "You're not going to summon a demon and ask it to carry all of Aroshka's memories, are you? Because that would be inadvisable."
What were you going to summon?
I was going to summon an angel, but
I mean, given Aroshka's memories, I'm not sure that's advisable either.
That's like giving them all the evidence they need to arrest me. Not that I think they needed any. I think they already knew, but...
okay, fine. I'm going to summon the hunt.
Oh god!
Okay.
Well, this will be interesting.
We have an understanding.
All right, you're going to so you're starting to draw your summoning circle. Yeah. Let me ask: is Shantano doing anything?
Yeah. I think in the midst of Mac doing the circle, he'll probably turn to Aroshka and they'll turn to Aroshka and be like, Aroshka, I have a question. By any chance, is the telescope coordinates physical coordinates?
That's a good question. I'm going to ask the telescope.
This would really be much faster if you wanted me to put that thread back, but the operations thread back. But
there's nothing horrifying in that one, right?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no context for what you consider horrifying. A lot of things have happened, even just in this room. So, it's not my place to judge what you would consider horrifying. I am a telescope.
Well, just give me that one. Nothing extraneous though, just how it works.
The operations thread. Just the operations thread.
Just that one. Nothing else.
All right. And let's see the mechanism. So there's a and you see something lights up on the panel. An area of the panel lights up, and the telescope says, "Stand at the lit station, please."
I'm going to sort of like nervous looking back into this lit area.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing. There's like a this sort of big metal tuning fork looking thing coming up from the panel. It's got a sort of a flat curved section. At about head height.
Do I have to do anything with this tuning fork?
It says, yes, please place your temple to the extractor.
I'm very concerned about this operation,
Are you-
but I'll do
Are
it.
you gonna do it? Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna draw another card now. You're now putting this card on the red sun. Hasn't been too long since we've had this one, but I don't think we've had it on since we've been back. Okay. Let me look at the number of the card so I can choose the right file. There we go. This is the driver. It's the defender of mysteries. This is a mysteries card. Always moving forward. Sometimes there is no other recourse than to simply get away. Escape is often the best option, and the best escape is a quick one. Like a shark, the driver can never stop moving. She's always racing ahead, always moving forward, making sudden, abrupt turns down new avenues without warning. They say that it's not the destination that's important, it's the trip. Well, if that's true, the driver does it best, because ultimately she has no destination in mind. It's never the point. The point is speed, motion, and the ability to change one's mind from second to second, and yet to do so fluidly and flawlessly. The driver is the defender of the mysteries family. She protects by enabling others to get away. She carries them to safety, always moving forward. In divination, the driver indicates an upcoming trip. It suggests that speed is important, but most of all it says that one should keep moving forward. Ostensibly, forward means toward one's goal, but there's an impetuousness to the driver that suggests, at least sometimes, that the best way to get where one's going might not be straight toward it. The driver moves in quick turns to get around obstacles and befuddle those who try to follow her. Okay. So there's a moment, basically it takes just a moment, where there's this glow that comes down over your section, and then the glass barrel sparks, the vessel sparks, and one of the many threads that's in there is now no longer in there. So it's interesting. Remembering something, it's not, there's no sudden jolt or anything like that. It's kind of like it's kind of like when you wake up, or even just when you're like, you look around, or you've lost your keys or something and you're like, oh yeah, there it is. And you sort of like things dial back into place a little bit. And at the time that you and that Gilda was teaching you, helping you to figure out how to use this panel, because so here's a couple of things you're remembering now, and then I'm going to ask about something that's attached to it. You are recalling that, Gilda had these designs that she applied to these principles that you worked out, these magical principles that you worked out. And so these devices only run because of the spells that you put into it. And so the magic is still there. You managed, quite brilliantly, I must add, to create a self-perpetuating system so that the spell does not decay. At least within the observatory. The trouble was always getting a power source. Which is eventually something you figured out.
And we blew it up.
Now, as you are remembering how things work, you think there was something, as you were trying to learn how to operate the controls.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was somewhat of a hurried process. There was a reason why you had to put all of this together, or you had to actually get this thing up and running. To take care of something. Something very important. Now, you have not remembered what that is. But what this basically what a lot of the impulse you're remembering to actually get this thing working was that you had to do something before time ran out. You were very aware of that. Also, and this is the strangest thing, exactly what that was isn't, again, exactly what that was doesn't exactly occur to you, but you think that the knowledge that time was running out came from a thing you hadn't done yet. It's very strange. It's like, because a lot of these memories, again, they're fractured, or they have these strange parallels to them. You get a little bit of a sense of that. Like, there are points where it's like you have this sort of window into other possible ways that you could have learned this, but usually most of the pathways are very similar. But it's kind of like seeing multiple timelines. It's very strange. But the controls, but you've got it now. You know how this place works. And the thing is, there's probably a lot to it. So it's going to come rolling in as you remember you need to do different things. And some of it, if you like, you can ask questions, or some of it you can just make up.
Well, first, do I now know the answer to the question of if the coordinates are a physical location or not?
Yes, the coordinates are a physical location. You can get those if you want them.
Okay. Well,
it's yeah. Well, actually, you don't know what their coordinates for yet, so I won't say anything else yet.
Okay. Okay, after this whole weird brain thing has happened, I'm gonna be like, okay, that was weird. Shantano, yes. Shantano asked, right? Or was it Mac?
I do have to ask you one more thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So there's going to be there's also going to be a piece of yourself. This is a very tiny piece of yourself pre-war that you're going to get back here along with this. And you can decide what that is. But it's something, and you can decide whether it affects you or how it affects you. It doesn't even have to affect you at all, necessarily. It can just be, I remember when I was a little like this. Do you have an idea of what that might be?
I might need to think on it a bit.
Sure. But in any case, yes, I'm sorry. So yeah, Shantano was standing at the eyepiece and asked you that question.
Why did you need them, Shantano?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Unfortunately?
I mean, I'm doing something very unsettling. I'm doing
What's like a vocabulary word for the day?
I'm doing work.
Mac
So
is just
sorry
going to
for
look
you.
slowly up from his summoning circle.
You're getting close to. You're getting closer. You're gonna be done with the circle shortly.
The dreaded W word. Well, I'll get those coordinates for you. I'm gonna start working on getting the coordinates, I guess.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if it's easier, maybe the teleport can just take us there, or the telescope can just take us there.
Can the telescope take us there? Is that a thing that it does?
you'd have to move the party to get it to take you there directly.
Oh, I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah. Otherwise, you probably just need to go to wherever it is. You can use the observatory to move the party. That's one. It's kind of its primary purpose.
Does it have power for that since we blew up its power source?
No, unfortunately, not yet. It's right now. Yeah, cells are empty. You're gonna need to hook something up.
Well, we can't do that right
now. Well, that's why we were bargaining with those mushrooms, was that we needed that space in order to gain the power.
Exactly.
So if we just move this stuff, or we turn these bugs in, and then we can really get to work.
Yeah. The tricky thing is depends on how long you want to keep tethered to the mushrooms in order to make it work is the other thing, but that's up to you.
But the mushrooms aren't eternal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's my question. If we move the party somewhere else, are we no longer attached to the mushrooms as a power source?
So you can kind of you can try to open up doors to other. One door is going to have to always open up to where the mushrooms are, but you have other openings. Essentially, is how this works. And so it's hard to explain. You can still be attached to the mushrooms while moving around. You still got that one tether. You have. Okay, I think you have 3 tethers that you can apply, if I am recalling correctly. And Eroshka's just remembering this basically. So one tether was to the is to right now is the only one operating. There's only one tether that's even barely operating right now, and that's the one that's attached to the Duchess's house.
Which we've been asked to remove.
Yes, which you've been asked to remove. One tether was set up in the apartment building, which was how you got in and out. And actually was, and then the third tether was to your house. Wait a minute, there were 4 tethers. As I suddenly remember, yes, even it takes a little while for the memories to come back because they don't happen instantaneously.
It just sounds like the Invisible Sun book. There were 3 tethers. No wait. 4.
There were 4 tethers. Yeah, it's a lot like that because there are multiple tethers. You can actually it's not a specific number of tethers you have to have,
But I'm guessing that the more tethers you have, the safer it is, and the less likely it will be cast into the void again.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So obviously tethering it here and then tethering it to some sort of demon space that Shantano wants to go to will make everything safer.
I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I was going to offer
mushrooms
to
and
tether it to the tower.
Well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've already done worse.
The tower actually seems like an interesting choice.
Well, I mean, that means we could theoretically go into the endless party whenever we want through.
That's, as long as we could find whichever point in the tower you had tethered it to.
Yeah.
I think that's half the fun.
I agree.
Wandering around trying to figure out where the room is.
Yeah, the tower's a little weird and tricky because of certain things, but yeah, it's because of it also has windows into other places, in a sense. But yeah, no, that would be doable. Yeah, you previously, of course, you had one tether to you had one tether, of course, also to the garden, to the I think it was to the sound garden, the symphonic garden, and then you had a tether, of course, that went up to the silver, which was kind of helping to do something to kind of. It's still a little jumbled, but it was like to. It was necessary to tether it to somewhere other than Indigo to really make it work out the way you wanted it to at the time. You don't remember why. You're not sure it's absolutely necessary, but it might be helpful if you can tether it to somewhere under a different sun.
Multiple suns, got it.
But yeah, as you're also looking at the... I know, I realize this is becoming... I'm unrolling a bunch of stuff here. Are you going to try to see what coordinates?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the coordinates.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to attempt to move the whole party there for a variety of reasons,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah, that's so you don't remember doing this because you only wanted the thread about learning how this place works. As you go over there, you have to kind of double check because it's like this is so the coordinates are at a space out beyond the let me look at my map real quick so that I can remember what the place is called. Out beyond the abstraction. Where it enters the void.
there's a phrase you just love to hear.
Do you actually look through the telescope? It's pointed there right now.
Oh, good. Do I get to see this demon staring back at us?
Do you want to look through? Do you want to look and see what it is?
Sure, I guess.
Sure. There's a figure there that's just staring with these glowing eyes. Hi, Hawkeye. Thank you for raiding. And this figure is staring there, and it's hard to make out against it, but you can see these chains that are binding it, and you realize that these chains that are binding it are yes, okay. So slight problem. It's not really a problem per se, but you think that the ability to bind that being there was also a function that is around here somewhere.
But it didn't come with my memories of how to operate this place.
You know how to... Well, yeah, as you're slowly remembering. It's like, yeah, there is a way this place can apparently take prisoners.
We're so much more alike than we knew, Aroshka.
Wow.
Actually...
I apparently have some kind of demon in chains somewhere in the universe.
If you think about it, actually, when you consider where the design came from...
That's true.
God damn.
So many layers.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to call out from the beginning of the game, Aroshka saying, I have him bound, but I'm not going to let them get you.
Well,
I think Mac is just going to mutter, and they say I'm the reckless one here.
I think based on the reactions of everybody who runs into me ever, we all knew that I was the reckless one the whole time.
Isabel, by the way, is still
yeah,
here.
What's she up to?
And was just like been trying to figure out what you're doing. She looks from you to that station you were at just a moment ago. And
The memory one or the
memory
looking
one.
at the demon one?
Well, she's looking from the memory station to where you are standing now at the telescope.
What does she remember?
And she's looking, and she's not standing she's not doing that at the memory station because those are your memories in there. She just has regular amnesia from the gray.
Just standard variety amnesia, you know.
Yeah. You have standard variety amnesia from the gray, plus having extracted more. So, yeah, she's going to...
Spoke amnesia.
Bespoke amnesia. Yes, precisely. Oh, God. That's awesome. No, she's just kind of looking from you to it, and she's like... Oh, God. Are you okay?
I think the answer to that question is always no, but I guess I'm okay, relatively speaking.
I remember, it's funny. I think you've said that to me before. It just sounded different the last time you said it.
Oh, good.
That the answer is always no. I think you used to like to say that sometimes.
I guess I still like to say it.
All right. No, I just wanted to because this is a lot.
That feels like the understatement of the century.
She's going to slowly step forward, and she's like, and she's going to come over to where you are. I think we used to know each other really well, didn't we? Like, really well.
It's the general impression I got.
What happened?
I think I messed up. I also maybe destroyed the world a little bit, just a little tiny bit. It got better. I guess now that I'm thinking of it, it's your party. Do you want to decide where it's getting tethered to?
What? Oh, we can do that now? Yes.
Maybe. Yes.
Hopefully that would be great. Yeah, there's... Well, I've still got that tenement, if we want to use that. I guess it just depends on if I know we're going to need to get that power source together. I suppose, and since they've agreed to let us use that as a fulcrum, I'm a little concerned because that place connects. I think there's a direct connection in that grotto. There's a direct connection to the night side of Indigo. Which, I mean, that gets us to an extent, that can get us our multiple sun connection. Sort of, it's kind of cheating. Because it's the same sun, but it's the different side of the sun, so we can kind of maybe use that for a while. But I'm a little concerned about trying to maintain that.
I definitely feel like maybe that should be temporary too, just because, night side, evil mushrooms.
Yes. I don't know if all of the safeguards are going to hold. If we keep it there for too long. Hopefully.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
If they didn't.
All right, so yeah, and so she will she'll just basically start looking through. She's gonna go over and start looking at the kind of a sort of a logbook type thing that she seems to recall
okay.
it is.
I was gonna say, is she gonna go look at the demon too?
Oh, is she? Well, I mean, she isn't. She doesn't seem curious about it at this point, unless you want to indicate that it's like very important for her to look at or anything.
We're just gonna not say anything about the demon I apparently have trapped.
Ah, okay.
At least not until we figured out we're gonna go get rid of it, catch it, something like that. Well, it's already caught, I guess.
Yeah, it's caught right now. Yeah, it's bound. But yeah, this place is basically is designed to help displace people if need be. It's kind of a strange solution.
I have a room specifically for the purpose of eating people into the void.
Well, yeah, you've got that, yes. But also there's something at the back of your head where it's like that the party itself was a strange solution to a problem that you had.
I like the idea of a problem that's solved by having a giant never-ending party. Well, so did I succeed in getting these coordinates?
You can, absolutely, yeah. No. Yeah, totally. You can if you want. But now that you know what's over there and that it has seen you.
Yeah, and I'll be like, well, Shantano is apparently chained up.
And it actually, I will say, it even reacts to you sort of like, almost, you can't really tell its expression. And but it just is like, you can tell that sort of its silhouette gives a sort of a what the
like it's surprised that I'm back, or
maybe.
Oh dear. I don't want to talk to the demon, but possibly I should talk to the demon. Well, here goes, Shantano. Conveniently already chained up.
You'd probably have to take some kind of vessel to get there. It's like drifting in midair. Right now it's bound to something that's...
Is it in space?
Yeah, kind of.
Gonna have to invent spaceships.
It's not exactly... Well, is there air in the void? It's a good question.
Do we need air?
Do we? I don't know.
Fuzzy. That seems like a fuzzy detail.
It is a little bit of a fuzzy detail.
If we have bacon and mimosas, I think we can go anywhere.
Oh my god, I can do it, can't I?
Space travel via mimosas.
So I have the coordinates now, right?
Yes, you do.
Coordinates now. You asked me for them, so I gave them to you.
You now see the exact... You've got these coordinates that should be the exact spot on the edge of the void.
I have just enough for this. Oh no.
This sounds exciting.
I'm going to try and complete the task.
Okay.
I'm going to use my ability called Reassemble Elsewhere.
All right. So, one sec before you do that, because I'm excited to see this, but just give us a moment. I do need to go back to Mac, who should be finished drawing his circle by now, and drawing their circle by now, and completing their summoning. And you're going to try to summon the hunt.
I believe in me.
Getting the hunt to... Let's see. Getting the hunt to show up in the first place is an interesting question. And can you remind me, is there communication that takes place before the being appears, or do you not communicate with it until the being appears? Do you remember?
I have to call out by name first before they appear.
Okay. All right. You're summoning the hunt into this space.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I'm going to draw a card. Let's find out.
Hey, the hunt loves me, so...
Okay, this is going on the gold sun.
Did you do something for the hunt?
Interesting.
Look, I needed a spirit of level 5 or higher in order to make it to Order of the 3rd degree. Like a reference. And you know who gave me that reference? The hunt.
The hunt?
Just gonna say.
Yep. That's fair. That's very fair. I've drawn the misunderstood beast. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Keep going.
Okay.
That's a hilariously perfect card.
It is the, it's again, this is Notions. It is green. Green sun is up. Because of course it is.
Yes.
Let me go
This
ahead
is
and...
good for me.
This is, strangely enough, because of who you're trying to summon. You turn on the green there. Okay. Here we go. Sun on. The misunderstood beast is a gentle giant, not a murderous monster. It seeks our friendship, not our flesh. Can we see past its physical nature and ascertain its truth? Will we even try? Snap judgments can result in horrific mistakes. We judge something by its appearance or simply by the initial reaction it churns in our heart, but the real truth of a thing can rarely be ascertained so quickly. This misstep can catch us from either direction. We might judge something ugly as evil when it is not, or we might assume someone pleasant is a friend when they are not. Either way, we are harmed or at least lessened as a result. In divination, something is not what it seems. This could be a concealed threat that will result in betrayal, or it could be something useful that one is ignoring or even avoiding. The turn of this card warns of such mistakes, but the mistake might have already been made, and the misunderstood beast spells out the results of such a mistake. Often, this card suggests that one should look for aid from unexpected corners, but warily. In fact, what it really says is that if someone looks to be a friend, they are not, and that those that seem to be a threat, likewise, are not. This is hard advice to take, and obviously why it is not always true, only when this card is turned. Okay. Interesting. Alright. So, yeah, green magic is up, pale magic is down. And actually, and yeah, also something that, and also, Djinnaya, you were not here when I came to this realization last time, as I finally have been getting closer to the end of these books that I have been reading.
For 2 years.
These rule books that I've been reading for 2 years. And that is that actually, when a card is drawn, the family it belongs to actually does give anyone with an associated heart a bonus of +1. And for some reason I had thought that was not the case a few sessions ago. But that's, so yeah, right now we're on Notions. In any case. Yeah, so the hunt is going to, I think, appear in the circle. As I recall, the hunt is basically, it's a anthropomorphic stag lady.
There
She
are
had-
such things as
yes, there
antlered
are.
does.
Yes, that's
a
right. That's
thing.
right. Yeah, no, she's anthropomorphic stag lady. It's perfectly so she has antlers. And will be standing there. She's wearing pelts, it seems. She just sort of shifts, and it's a bit weird as she's kind of. It takes a moment. It's like takes a little more effort for her to appear here than probably it would somewhere else. And so she has appeared and is looking around by this place.
I'm being judged by the deer lady too.
What are you about? She says to Mac.
I would ask of you a boon
Go
in
on.
exchange for services. I needed a neutral party that is trustworthy enough to carry this vessel to my tower without looking within its contents.
You seek a transport for a device. My people are not beasts of burden.
No, but you're beasts of your words. And I trust you more than I would the angels and demons that I would otherwise entrust this task to.
What is it?
It contains memories.
Ah. These memories are precious to you?
Not particularly, but I believe that the safety Satyrine lies within the knowledge contained within these memories. It's just that we do not have the time to process all of them now.
I see. I need to grab a name real quick. There's just one thing I want to check on. Is it here in my list? It is not. So I will grab the other one. So I just want to make sure of something. Yes. All right. Your tower. Which tower is this? I don't believe she's been
The
there
Jenga
before.
Tower.
The Jenga tower. You sort of describe it as a Jenga tower or something. Ah, that tower forged by one of the slivers of her elegance.
That's right.
Huh. We do not war with the gold at present. I can see that this is a thing we may do, perhaps, if it is truly important. Very well. I shall have someone do this if you will agree to assist us in a matter soon coming. There is much strife at the moment. And there is one of ours that I may wish you to look after for a time.
May I bring my associates?
Just sort of looks around at your associates as they're getting demon coordinates. And you trust them?
Eh. Well,
If
we've resolved several issues before.
Well, if you can speak upon their behalf and give your word that you're charged, that we shall ask you to look after, shall come to no harm as a result of what they do, then yes. I say this merely because you we know. We shall take your word for it, if you can vouch for them.
I believe that the majority of my associates are reliable enough to accomplish this task.
It's very diplomatic. Nods. Very well. This place is difficult. But, so, once we transport that from this place, we will not be able to return of our own accord. You understand? So, we can take it out. We cannot bring it back should you need us to. Do you accept this?
Will it function? Will it function?
Will it
Not
function?
here.
If not here. I think Eroshka would realize that you'd still need a way to get at what's in the memories in there. So you'd probably have to do it magically at that point, but it would still perform its function of holding the memories.
Okay.
Or you could build another device, or someone could build another device that can get the stuff out. But
I was gonna say, are these part of my designs? That
yeah, I mean, you actually
Bogarted?
could probably. Yeah, the memory herding actually, that barrel is something it does capture things, so possibly. I'd say it's probably an extension of something else that a corridor you did not go down in your designs. So you could probably, if need be, build something that could do it also.
Okay.
So yeah, there are a couple of ways you could get the memories out of it.
I think I speak for all of us, and that we hope we never have to come to this place again.
Very well.
Why
Well,
you
then.
don't like my evil underground laboratory?
You wish it moved now?
Yes, please.
Very well then. And presuming you do the necessary things, I think you have to break the circle in order to get, then she will there will be this sort of cry that comes out as she raises her head, this sort of this sort of echoing thing, and I don't know if she would actually have a hunting horn. I think it's probably she'd just do it herself.
That was like a moose.
Kind of, yeah. Semi moose like, actually, slightly. Which is something I have very
Sort
good
of
reference for
terrifying,
recently.
actually.
Yeah, it is a little bit, yeah.
No, moose calls are endearing and charming. They're not at all intimidating.
What was it? It was kind of like a type thing. Anyway, so she does that, and you see, after a moment, she's concentrating, and you see that well, something's about to happen actually, and this is going to take a second. So, before the people she's calling in show up, let me also continue moving around just to make sure we're good. What has Shaw been doing while all this has been going on? Muted.
I have been picking through all of the various inventions and gadgets in this room, both identifying what is rightfully mine and also going through and looking for things that we might need for the creation of this fulcrum, because that was why we were planning on getting here.
Okay. All right. I think you're going to find some stuff here. Certainly, you're absolutely going to find some stuff.
I regret it, though.
And yeah, I feel as though there's So as you're piecing together, Shaw, what this place does, as you're looking at all of these things that were not meant to work together, but they work together. Yeah, none of this was meant to work together, but it does. And that's actually a little bit disturbing.
I mean, we've already established that I know how to make impossible things possible.
Yes. And, you're sort of realizing, okay, this would require, to make all of this, to make actually all of this affect the party, would require a major freaking power source that is probably not possible. But might be, depending on what happens. Actually, no, it would require... It's possible, I should say. It is possible. But it's very difficult to get all of it to work together. It's very difficult to get... I mean, you're sticking an observatory onto a party space and trying to get it to move from place to place. It's very...
We literally already destroyed the impossible energy source.
Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah.
But Shaw was not there for that, as I recall.
Right. I think that maybe, what Shaw is going to do is pull out her sketchbook, her Viewmaster, and start tracking all of the connection points to try to understand, what are the pieces that work together. And also because she's starting to get this feeling like she was a better maker before she was who she is now. I think that I'm also really acquiring these pieces of designs that I may have lost,
Yes.
and sort of grabbing them back,
Yes.
probably pretty angrily.
You realize that there is underneath the main console, you think if everything is supposed to connect where it goes, then underneath the main console, right next to the big telescope, is probably where you would feed in the necessary reactions to make this whole thing work. Together. You're not completely sure. So you're getting kind of, I think, possibly even it's like this. That would be the entry point for whatever they're doing to make all of this work together. I'll put it that way. Because it shouldn't, but it does. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. To an extent. It's like if you separated it from that, you could use everything individually. But this place would probably be stuck in one place. Wherever that is.
So I guess my question for you is, the thing that connects us all together, does it just have to be powerful, or does it also have to be improbable?
It really helps if it's improbable.
Got it.
To figure out an actual... The thing that... Otherwise, the thing that would connect everything together is a thing that that has not been invented yet, whatever it is.
Okay.
So that's what you're working out. So Shantanu, you were about to cast a spell, I believe.
I'm hoping it works. Question for sortilege, how does how does that affect the thing?
Okay.
Does that allow us to enhance something or change? Or...
I'm not going to do this off the top of my head because I have a reference document in front of me, so let me just open this real quick. Sortilege. Sortilege can add an enhancement die to any roll, self or other, if nearby and in sight. Sortilege cannot be used if another die is already added from an alternate enhancement. It's basically you're turning a thing into a magical working with sortilege, so you can use it for that. Most spells and abilities already add extra dice, so you can't add sortilege unless you have like an advanced sortilege. I presume a secret there. So it's like I kind of was sort of viewing sortilege as you can use it to turn non-magical things into magical things, basically. It's it's when you want to color outside the lines, and anyone can do this, by the way.
Okay.
If you want to add magic to a thing that you're working on, basically.
I'm gonna pop this into chat. This is my ability.
Righto.
Just somewhere elsewhere. It's only a 10-mile thing, but if I use sortilege, can I make it to the point I see?
I see what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is considerably more than 10 miles away. But
it is, with the telescope, it is in sight.
It is in sight. Technically, it is in sight.
Also, I mean, we're in a weird magic place that bends space and time.
Yeah. So, you just want to pop over there, basically?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. Can you do this more than once, out of curiosity?
What do you mean? I have enough to pay for it twice.
Okay, that's what I wanted to check on real quick.
Make sure you don't get stuck in space.
That would be very bad.
Indeed.
But yes, you can. So I would say that if you want to do something, if you want to try doing something messed up, then I don't see why not. I can't guarantee that it'll work, but it's. I always encourage people to bend their spells in different directions, so you can give it a try.
I may need to do that, or I bring the whole attempt to convince the whole group to come with me.
Yeah, I mean, there's that too, if you want to try that. So, but yeah, no, it's up to you. Up to you, if you want to give it a try.
I do. I'm going to consider this Chantineau's way of being nice and not trying to involve the whole group in this extremely dangerous situation.
What could possibly go wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
I ask you. What could possibly go wrong?
Okay, so what do we need to do?
So let's see. This is your. So this is a spell, right?
It's an ability from my
an ability. That's
splinters
right. That's right.
From my splinters into fragments. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see now. So this is a level 7 spell, which will be very helpful in knocking down the challenge, which is probably going to be ridiculous. Let me just figure out. Let me just figure out some comparative levels here, so as I can check a thing.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. 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 And you're talking about, when you said you have enough, you're talking about sorcery points, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got like 14 sorcery points hanging out somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
Magical.
Let me check the, God, where is it? Oh, yeah, let me open it. Sorry, I gotta open up a thing.
So it's like this. All my skills are below 5, except for sorcery.
This makes sense.
What are you doing, kid?
Levels of effects, there it is. Okay. Once again, we're bringing up our trusty old friend, the effects by level table.
Okay, bye for that.
It's just looking to see how impossible this is. Okay. So, yeah, yeah, I think we can equate this to, significant amount of time travel is level 12. So I think we'll compare it to that. So this is I'm gonna call this a difficulty of 12. And so you've got 7 to your venture already. So that would make your roll would have to be a 5 or better to do this. Do you want to add anything to that?
I'm sure. It's gonna be an arduous journey, so can I use survival?
Yes, I think survival is going to be very important. Where you're going.
I want to do this as quickly and as little notice from the demon as possible. Can I use my stealth?
Oh, see, I am going to make you roll separately when you're trying to do something against the demon
Okay,
itself. By the way, just so you're aware.
Totally understandable.
But I mean, you can use the stealth towards this though, because you want to pop in somewhere where you're going to be unobtrusive, as you can. So I will give you that.
And I think those two are the only ones besides. No, I don't think magical lore would fit. So I think those two are the only ones that are.
Not as such, no.
Yeah.
Not for this specifically.
That's
necessarily.
What I have.
There's. Okay, so you want to go with 3 or better?
Yeah.
All right.
What does the sortilege do? That just allows me to attempt it, right? Essentially.
I think that, well, what we're going to say here is that since this is an ability that you have already, if you spend a sortilege, that'll turn it into a magical working, which I think it will freaking have to be for this.
Yeah.
And
allow me to attempt something.
And you'll get to roll 2 dice, and actually do the thing.
Okay, so I need to roll 2 dice.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're looking for it now. Before you do this, keep in mind, because you may also remember a few weeks ago, as I continue to talk about the fact that I've been finally getting to the ends of some of these books, where some of the important stuff is that they didn't point out earlier. This is going to be one of those rolls that you're going to need to succeed on both in order for this part of the process to go off without a hitch. All right? So you're going to need at least a 3 on both of these dice.
That's risky. Let me think of something.
Is there any way any of the rest of us can be helpful?
I'm not necessarily.
Are you not telling us that you're doing
that's the question.
it? This is me, Arras, asking, not Aroshka.
What bene am I allowed to? Am I allowed to use things from Certes, or is this only a qualia thing to help boost this?
You already spent the sorcery, so I don't.
Okay, so that's how that works. Just
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Unless you have a secret that
Yeah.
lets you do more.
I don't think so. Okay, I think so. 3 it is.
Let me also check. Let's see. Is traveling green magic? I don't think it is. But I'm not sure. Where's the thing? Where did the thing go? Oh, it's over here. That's right. Because if it's green magic, then you can potentially get a bonus from that. But I need to figure that out. It'd be great if I knew what page, what color the magic was on.
Yeah, or if your heart is secrets. Is that what we are right now?
We are on currently
Notions.
Notions. Yeah.
Heart was determined from.
Well, no, because like I'm an empath, so that determines my heart, I think. Or or no? That's along.
That sounds about right.
Like for me, it's the gallant part of my name, an established gallant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, I don't know that. Yeah, I don't think. I'm just gonna. Yeah, it's gonna take me forever to find this one page that is not clearly labeled. So, that's where I try to figure out what color this spell is. As travel doesn't ring any bells for me in particular, because I could see arguments for a few different suns for this. So we're gonna go ahead that it's still 3 or better right now.
Okay, so 3 or better.
Yep. Okay.
Whoa.
So that's interesting.
That's
So
a
actually,
zero
that's
that's
a 0 and a 1.
1.
Okay. So let's see if we can figure out where you end up. I'm going to draw another card now.
It's technically the 2 lowest rolls in the game.
This is true.
I mean, at least the 0 is not in the sortilege side.
Yep.
Like, so at least you don't have flex on top of everything.
So this card is going on the invisible sun. Do 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 do. Let's see. Dee 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 dee. This is card number 27 that we have drawn, and it is the Imperator. I forgot to freaking do the thing when the last. Well, it's okay. It's a sovereign card, which, and I forgot to do this before. Everyone's going to be at +1 for this part of the scene, or +2 if you have a heart matching visions.
Hey, this is my card.
The Imperator is your card.
Or everything in it is, or visions, yes. Swans, yes. All that stuff.
So you'll have a little help in a moment, probably. But in any case, the Imperator. I think this came up not too long ago. Sometimes conflict is needed, and the Imperator believes that keeping a level head and using intellect and wisdom rather than rage or brute force paves the path to victory. Of course, not every crisis point lies within a literal battle. Some conflicts take other forms, stressful situations where some are prone to make rash decisions based on emotion, but not the Imperator. Follow his example. The Imperator is the sovereign of the Visions family. He is a leader, an advisor, a teacher, and a mighty warrior. In divination, this card represents the crucial turning point, the deciding factor that brings victory or defeat, the crisis point. Generally, the interpretation is that when this card is turned, the person in question must make a very important decision upon which everything that follows now rests. The Imperator also suggests that this choice should be made with consideration and care, not emotion or haste. Sorry. Okay. All right.
It's a good thing Shantano is so good at calm, well thought out decisions.
That's
Oh,
right.
All the time.
Okay. Well. So this is going to be interesting how this kind of, I think, goes down. So Shantano is going to disassemble. Just as a stepping forth from Mac's circle is what looks like an anthropomorphic elephant. It's very large. That just sort of strides forth to go and pick up the vessel. And I think there is a moment when, as this is happening, and Shantanu takes this moment to disperse and try to use the mechanism of this to basically kind of go into the telescope and come out the other side. It's kind of what Shantanu is trying to do here, is to go into the telescope and come out the other side. And a klaxon starts going off. And
Uh-oh.
you hear, as this is going on, as Shantanu is trying to find I already used the word tether, but the connection that this place has to the spot where that being is. And, yeah. So, Shantanu, you're going to have a decision to make, because this observatory is starting to go into a kind of a shutdown mode, because it perceives that it's being attacked in some way because you're just sort of flooding into it right now.
Security measures.
So you have a choice. As you're coming through here, you're going to have a moment when you're going to have an opportunity to try to grab something from this demon. But if you do, you will not be able to get back to this spot, to this place. You'll be able to go somewhere else, but you won't be able to make it back to the observatory. So it's kind of going to be a one-way trip if you do this. So I guess the question is, do you want to do that, or do you want to land back in here with the rest of your companions?
So right now, no one knows exactly what I'm attempting to do except for me.
This is true. I should also give you more information because I want to make sure you've got everything kind of above board. As you're sort of shuddering, you notice that the chain itself, because you were looking through the scope when you did this. The chain on the demon itself is starting to shudder too. And you think, and it's moving around more. So something is happening. As this place is, what you're doing here is affecting what's happening there. So I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that as well before you make your decision. Now, what would you like to do?
That's right. And so right now no one knows where I'm going. But also no one knows about the talk that I had with the spider god.
That is true. Well, actually, they knew where you were looking at. I'll just put it that way. Sorry, go ahead.
True. And they only know partly of the spider god thing, not my additional conversation.
Yes.
I think Shantano would turn away from the telescope and look at everyone and be like, I'll be back eventually.
Are you saying this as you disintegrate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you'd probably see Shantano like cracking. That's like they're condensing in mass, becoming more dense, and like the room's probably lighting up like a disco ball as they're reflecting all the lights everywhere.
Just starts shielding his eyes, and he tries to look. What's going on?
And so, let's see. This was played on the Invisible Sun card. This card was placed on the Invisible Sun. So there's a lot that's about to happen. Okay. You head out?
Ominous chuckling from the DM, never a good sign.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay. So Shantano, you're popping out across the void to a platform to which this demon is chained. The demon Segeldrak has got an arm free. It's very big. You can see now a very large void demon stands before you and is starting to shuck the chain off and looks down and is now looking down and over, and its eyes gleaming, but it's very close to you. As you see that it has garments that are kind of hanging down from it, sort of like in tatters. And you see its eyes gleam and sharp teeth. And we're going to go now back into the vault of for just a moment. The vault of the observatory, where you hear a lot of as panels and things are slamming shut. And Eroshka, you know immediately that things are going into lockdown. The thing that Shantano just did, there are waves going through the panels, and as you watch, and this almost seems to be like in slow motion, as everything shudders, a crack forms in the vessel.
Uh-oh.
And a memory is slowly starting to try to work its way toward you. And I think that's where we're going to stop for the night.
Oh, shnikes.
Good.
All right.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be no takesies backsies on the deal now. Thanks, Shantano.
Can we blame the hunt for breaking the vessel? Is that a thing we can do? Is there some sort of like guarantee on that side?
Are we lawyering up?
They were about to, that elephant being was about to grab hold of it and pull it away. But yeah, there's a lot happening now. We haven't moved locations at all. Well, one of us has. And there we are.
The thing we wanted moved was not moved.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no, it was about to be. But I feel as though, once again, not a lot of time passed in-game, but I'm going to go ahead and just check with everyone. We'll go around, and we're going to do a check to see if anyone wants joy or despair from where we are at this point. So let me go ahead and get over there. So going around, Djinnaya, do we think that Shaw has gotten any joy or any despair today?
I mean, I kind of feel like I got a despair. I think Shaw's really upset about her work being somewhere else, like both on a "you stole my work" kind of feeling, but also on a I guess I should be a better maker than I am, and I should be making more complicated things, and someone else can take my work and do better things with it.
Ooh.
Feeling like that feels yucky.
That's real heavy.
Also, I will say for a given value of better, depending given.
I mean, yeah, right. But before Shaw had these friends, all she had was moving forward in the makers. That was all she had in the entire universe. So it's easy to slip back to that dysfunction, I think.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. Wilde, do we think Shantano got a joy or a despair today?
That's just so hard. Come back to me for a second.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, joy or despair, or neither. We don't know. Depends on how you feel. And Arras, do we think that Aroshka got a joy or a despair today?
I feel like Aroshka's probably feeling a lot of despair at the moment.
More despair! More despair!
Like, it might have been slightly neutral, and then the thing broke.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's just one crack. It's just a little fracture, a little hairline fracture.
But a mystery memory is trying to come over here.
That's right. It's true. One of the memories is trying to get out now. Trying to move toward you. So yes, that's despair then. And Anino, do you think Mac got a joy or a despair today?
I feel like Shantano snatched joy or snatched despair from the jaws of joy for Mac, because he managed to convince the hunt to do something that was well beneath them, and now he's on the hook for a favor to the hunt, and the thing that he asked for in return might not be transportable now. So yeah, he's in this rare, very rare space where he owes someone something and got nothing in return.
Ooh.
That's the Goetic's worst nightmare.
That's yeah. That's fair. So we're having despair today, then, I take it.
Yes.
Excellent. Let's see. Wilde, do you have any thoughts, or do we want to come back to it later?
Yeah. I'm definitely going with despair.
All right.
Because this was not done in the name of brunch, but in the name of work.
Understandable. All right, despair all around then. Excellent.
It's everybody's no good, very bad day today.
So much is happening. Awesome. Okay.
I'm sorry if I broke everything.
And breaking himself themselves. They broke everything.
That's fair. That's fair. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. He's having a nice chat.
I
with
guess
a friend.
at least Aroshka's memories are going to Aroshka and not some other poor sap.
I mean, Mac was considering whether or not he really wanted to take in all those memories.
It's a good question. It's a good question. We'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens next time. I also I just can't help but wonder and so what's also going to be interesting is if Danielle is with us next time, then we're going to have to figure out where Evora appears, because that's going to be a whole thing.
It's the GIF with the pizza, the guy coming in with the pizza to the room is burning.
I feel like that's every episode.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of these sessions. You know, when anyone pops back in from the gray, it's like
I left you people for like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Actually, I believe that was said at the beginning of the session, if I recall correctly.
I know. And yet, I didn't make it better, did I? No, I did not.
Well, you tried. You worked toward that. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go around and we're going to do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, any final thoughts that you have about this session, and plug whatever you like, as always. And we shall start with Anino.
Really? Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino4K. What do I have coming up this week? I do not actually have anything coming up this week because I'm taking the whole week off from streaming. But so I will not be here next Saturday. But you can still find me on Twitter, and my fundraiser for the races is still going on. Actually, I lied about the streaming thing. I will be here on this channel on Friday night, 8 p.m. for a very special one-shot of Inspectors Viva Las Vegas. So there'll be ghost busting in Vegas, and probably lots of things similar to tonight. Laughable tragedy.
Yes.
So, that'll be a whole lot of fun.
Excellent. That'll be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Very cool. Any final thoughts about this session?
I think it's great. I mean, it's not great for our characters, but I do love a good story that is going to come from this. I felt like we were getting a little too big for our britches anyway, and so between the destruction of brunch, our beautiful brunch, and now this, I feel like we're viable underdogs again.
Excellent. Glad that we were able to reestablish that. Excellent. Good. Very cool. And now let us head over to Arras.
Hello, I'm Arras. I'm Animus Panthera. Animus.Panthera practically everywhere on the internet. I'm a real-life zoologist. I'm also a cosplayer. So if you like to talk about gaming, cosplay, or animals, I love chatting about all of those things. I'm mostly active on Twitter. The only place you can catch me gaming on the internet right now is right here on Saturdays playing Invisible Sun. Also, Black Violet Productions is still taking pitches for podcasts. So if you have a podcast you would like somebody else to produce, hit me up. Thoughts for this session. I'm terrified, but in a fun way. Interested to see where this is going. That's all I got.
Me too. All right. And now let us head over to Wilde.
Nice. Hello, I'm Wilde, at Wilde Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Currently, this is the only place where you can find me, but I do have some things in the works, which you will also be able to catch here eventually. I was not expecting to break everything, but here we are. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. Worse than it already has.
Sure,
Good
everything.
clarification.
But this was a lot of fun. Just being my usual chaotic self, and this time facing actual consequences for it.
Yes, excellent, excellent. And now let us head over to Djinnaya.
Hello, I'm Djinnaya. You can't find me anywhere else on Twitch, but you can find me on Twitter at Djinnaya or on Instagram at Djinnaya. And wow, what a disaster this is turning out to be. I can't wait to see how exactly this turns out. But I'm also thinking that the fact that we had exactly one dice roll in this game and it was a 0 and a 1 really bodes fantastically for how this is going to turn out. So yeah, I think that probably the next thing I have to do is play with the Maker Matrix, which involves a lot of really important dice rolls, and I'm hoping that I can just thank Wilde for getting those out of the way. That's it. That's me.
Awesome. This is glorious. It's glorious. All right, and let's see. Who am I? I have no idea. I'm Jim. I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and stuff. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Things that are happening for me coming up. So on Monday evening, we are having a special post-mortem for the Q&A session for our campaign of Urban Shadows that we had here, that we were playing here for quite a while, that was set in present-day Rome. Pope has very kindly agreed to come and moderate and do basically one of his inside the Role-Playing Gamer Studio Q&A type deals. And so I'm very excited for that. So Monday night we're going to have that happening, where we're going to have where we'll have at least Lynn and Sarah back, and we'll talk. We'll talk about various things, because that campaign meant a lot to me, and there was a lot of stuff that to unravel with it, and I'm going to be very happy to get a chance to chat about it for a while. So that's happening. I have some off-stream stuff happening kind of during the week, and then, of course, as previously mentioned, on Friday, we have a one-shot. I'm going to be running a one-shot of Inspectors, again, to benefit races. The sort of the tentative title for the one-shot is Sin City Shamble, and just very much looking forward to doing another bout of Inspectors for the for the Halloween season. So very pleased to dive in and do that. Very much looking forward to it. And then, of course, on Saturdays we have this. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see where things go next, because we're now picking up pieces of things that have been sitting here for so long that we're now trying to see what they actually mean. And I think I'm very excited about it, because, as everyone knows, a lot of it is made up on the fly. So there's a lot I still don't know what's going to happen. so we'll see. But very excited to get back to it. But at this point, when we hit the end card, I'm going to try sending a raid over to Dread Void Witch, relatively newer channel, but some folks that I know are over there, and they are playing a game aptly titled The Hunt, that they're on the first episode of. So we're going to see if we can go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That, again, will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.